What's up, twisted people? It's your twisted girl here, twisted woman here, Chauncey K. Robinson. And I am joined, of course, by the woman of the hour because yesterday was Mother's Day, y'all. So in the comments and in the chat, y'all got to wish my mama happy Mother's Day. All the mothers. I'm a cat mother, so I also got treated to dinner as well. But the woman who made me, Karen Robinson, my mother, I'm joined with her today as we are talking about Charmed on the CW, episode 11, season 3. Yes. I wasn't around last week. We had a, situation. Those of you who want to know why, can go on the community thing. And I put up a message. I'm not going to get into it too much here. But we always enjoy Charmed, and we figured it would be cool to, of course, continue on and do this show because we love talking to you all here. And those of you in the chat, thank you so much for joining us live, and also to those of you who are joining in the replay. It is always a pleasure to be talking story with you. And so today we have we have episode 11, Witchful Thinking. Yes, witchful thinking. And so what we do here, we're going to talk about, our overall thoughts, what kind of grade we would give it, what actually happened this episode. And then, of course, we got to do ship talk because there was a lot of ship stuff, actually, this episode, I think. A lot of, maybe not like out and out in terms of some couples, but definitely some references and stuff. So we're going to talk about ship talk because, I love talking about my ships. And then, of course, our predictions. And so I guess my question I want to ask to all of you for this episode is, one, what grade did you give this episode? Also we have to note that this Charmed is on its new day or its old day, its previous day. It keeps switching. It came out when it first started, it was on Fridays, and they switched it to Sundays, and now it's back on Fridays. And so we have that. And so, we have a new week. So maybe, higher ratings, who knows? But, it's not the biggest deal because we already got renewed for season 4. So we're happy about that. And so let me know, y'all, what y'all grade is for this particular episode. Did you love it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. And also, what do you think? Seems like it's always an Abigail question. What do you think happened? But this time it's Jordan too. What do you think is going on with Abigail and Jordan? And we'll talk about that in our predictions in terms of is actually going on this episode. And what's the future of our favorite guy, Jordan? Oh my gosh. And for some of you people who hate Abigail, I don't know. I feel like maybe they linked them two together. So you'd have to root for Abigail to also be okay. So, they know everyone's going to want Jordan to be okay. So if it was just Abigail getting put somewhere, no one would care. Or people who already hate her wouldn't care, I guess. So yeah, so, we already got, thanks for joining us in the chat. Damien saying, I rated this episode an A- because they didn't fully reverse the allergy. Blue Wolf Phoenix saying B-. Liliana is actually saying D or a C. It wasn't one of my favorites. Let us know, Liliana, why wasn't it one of your favorites? Let us know. I'm curious to see, because I feel like, and Blake, thanks for joining us. Blake gave it a C+. Wow, not as high as I thought it would be for some people. Lotus Q, thanks for joining us in the chat, is saying a solid A. Michael Thomas is saying, I'll never understand the I hate Abigail. I mean, I really wonder if it's because she's a white girl. No, I don't think that's it. Yeah, I don't think that's it, Michael. I think they've. We'll get into it. We'll get into it towards the end when we have to talk about the Abigail, because we have to talk about her plot line, her and Jordan plot line this episode. And, I think it's interesting, Ma, that the grades aren't as high as I honestly thought I'd be the outlier here, y'all, because I've been the outlier a little bit for the last couple of episodes of some of my polarizing thoughts on some of the choices being made. But I will agree with some of you that I did not necessarily love this episode. I felt like it was a little bit predictable. I kind of saw where it was heading, and I kind of hoped they weren't going to go that route in terms of reverse the allergy, give it to us for a little bit just to reverse it back. And kind of in this episode showing us or justifying why we had to keep this allergy going for some reason. I didn't really like the direction that it went. I don't know what it was. I felt like the lighting was really dark too. So I was like, where is the lighting person in some of these scenes? I don't know, maybe because it's supposed to be romantic. It was just like, except for when they were on college, it just didn't seem like there was any daylight going on. And I don't know, I just felt like, I'm not going to say it felt disjointed because that's always kind of how it is where there's multiple plots going on. I felt like it was a little bit predictable for me this episode. And I just, certain things, I was just like, one, I thought there was a plot hole somewhere. We'll get to that. But I don't know, something was missing about this episode. Maybe because I knew where they were going to go with it. And so for me, I couldn't even enjoy the first half of the episode where it seemed like things were going great for them. You know what I mean? What do you think, Ma?
For first of all, I gave it a B. Mine was a B, a regular B. And the way in a way you figured they was going to come back and everything was going to be okay. And it did. Everybody, the allergy was gone. But what I didn't get, how come, when they came back, they brought the egg back, they did the spell. Why wasn't Harry down there?
What do you mean? Well, we'll get into the details of it, but overall, what did you think? You gave it a B. Why not an A? Why not an A?
Well, they messed up somehow, especially near the part with Abigail, because they didn't explain. That was really weird. When it came on, it started off with her, and I'm trying to figure what the hell. I'm looking at her skin and everything, and then I didn't understand one part when she's in a house. I think she went looking for. She said she was looking for. Who was she looking for?
Who was Abby looking for? The demon Abby?
Yeah, because she was in the house, remember?
Yeah, she was looking for the child. I don't know why she decided. Why that one demon decided we'll talk about that. There's specific things we got to talk about. So what you're saying is you felt like in this episode you didn't give it an A because you felt like there were certain things that didn't make much sense to you.
Yeah, it just didn't, it didn't, I missed a few parts, but then when it came back to certain parts, like with Josefina,
yes.
Yeah. And and then some things, like I said, the whole thing was, the overall of it was like between good and not so good.
Yeah, I just feel like there was stuff missing for me. I was just like, I should be happy. And probably because I figured I knew where it was going to go. I'm like, this is going to be short-lived. It's too good. Kind of like Mel said. It was sort of a meta moment when Mel was like, well, when someone said, I'm like, oh my gosh, so you're really going to tell us what's going to happen this episode through the character? Is this meta? Are we really doing meta right now? Where it was like, well, the other shoe's got to drop. And lo and behold, the other shoe drops. I'm like, all right, we get it. Jaws, yeah, Jaws is saying in the chat, thanks for joining us in chat, Jaws, it felt like nothing really happened and there were things that didn't add up. Yes, that's what we'll talk about. That there were some plot holes. I was just like, did someone just not check the last two episodes with certain things that happened? I was like, come on. It's like writing 101, but okay. Damie is saying, I'm glad Josefina is leaving. She's okay, but I don't want her in every episode. Yeah. Blue Wolfie is saying Josefina is doing the most. Yeah, we'll talk about Josefina's plot line as well, and what's that about, and how that played out and whatnot. So, okay, so Ma, you gave it a B. I gave it like a C. I gave it a C. I didn't hate this episode, but there have been better episodes. I also felt like, probably, my favorite sister. We can pick favorites, whatever. My favorite sister is Macy. And I just felt like, you had it so the other two sisters had like these big wishes, which it was kind of like, maybe I missed it. Did they make an actual wish, or this was just something they wanted to happen in their life? I don't know. But so they wanted things, and it was like, okay, they immediately get to want it. And I was like, how is this connected to this allergy, though? How is that the thing they kind of just are striving for in their everyday life connected to this allergy? Made no sense. And then what they do is they make it so Macy wants a hotel room I'm like, wait a minute. So this is her only thing, just to want a hotel room with Harry. The other two want like career success and an internship. Macy wants a hotel room, a suite in Paris. Okay.
The honeymoon suite.
Okay, but it was still a whole hotel room, Ma. And it was just like so they had to give Macy something that would happen back. It was just like I didn't understand what the point of this episode was. I didn't understand the point of the episode. So let's get into it. Okay, so we got 3 plot lines. So you gave it a B, I gave it a C. The chat, and let us know in the replay, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us in the replay, what your grade is for this episode and why. You know, I love my open-ended questions. You got to give me the why, not just the simple answer. So I gave it a C, you gave it a B. People, those of us, the twisted people in the chat are giving us C's, some B's, some A's. So let's get into what actually happened this episode. So we had 3 main plot lines, which was the allergy, which involved all of the sisters. We had Abigail and Jordan, and then we had Josefina's plot line, which was kind of like plot point C that kind of added to everyone else's. So yeah. All right, so let's go with the allergy. Let's just go with the bigger one of the episode, because that was kind of the overall thing. So, the perfecti tell them, go get the egg. We get some Indiana Jones thing going on. We learn that Macy basically knows how to hold her breath, take that as you will as a talent. And they get the egg and the allergy goes back. And we get this beautiful moment with them being able to hug. And of course, we get some hasty stuff, and we'll talk about that with the ship talk and stuff like that. So they go on their merry way. And like we're saying, the other shoe drops. Right after Maggie gets the internship, Mel gets the tenure, and then Harry and Macy get to have a hotel room. So, because that's their big thing this episode. And then we get a thing that basically comes to them having to kind of go back. It's like the way the perfecti explained it to them that it was for anyone who tried to rip or something the Tomb of Chaos, and that was the security system, that they just want to be able to touch any people. And the perfecti said, "Oh, we did that because we never figured it needed to be reversed." And then for some reason there was an egg. I don't know why an egg, but there's an egg, and so this is supposed to cure it, because for whatever reason the perfecti can't just do it themselves, as Maggie pointed out, because that didn't make any sense. But anyway. So it's eventually this kind of weird sort of lesson that they have to kind of have the allergy so that can restore the balance in the world, because somehow with them having the egg, it made it so that anything they wished for would come at the cost of people around them.
But I didn't get, they didn't say they was wishing for anything. Or was that subconscious wishing?
I guess it was subconscious. That's why it's called witchful thinking. I think it was a subconscious kind of thing, Robert is saying Macy's deepest desire was to get laid after 3 months. I don't blame her. Yeah, no, Robert, I'm not hating on it either. It was just kind of weird, because if we're just talking about desires and stuff, you had it so Maggie still wanted Jordan even though she couldn't have him. There were so many it was just kind of like, I get it. What was her plot line? What's Macy's plot line up to this point? So it's like you kind of had to make it about the Harry thing and her and them in Paris. And basically, I think her desire was for them to be a normal couple. I think, if I'm being honest, that was probably the real desire, not a hotel room. I'm being facetious, but it was them being able to be a normal couple. But clearly that also is not allowed in this situation. So, okay. So I don't know. What did you think of that plot line, Ma? Because we got it. So we got this huge moment where they got to reverse the allergy. We're thinking, hallelujah, we're halfway through the season. Finally, we can move on to other plots and things than this allergy business. And then they kind of take it away from us again. So what were your thoughts? And let us know in the chat, what were y'all thoughts?
I said it makes sense. Why take them through that and then you have to reverse it? I didn't understand. I'm like, why? But then I guess with the wish, they figure that even though they're happy, somebody else is going to have something damaging to them. and the world is going to, so they felt like they didn't want to take somebody else's happiness for their happiness. And I understood that.
But did you and let us know, y'all, in the chat and the replay, because I'm confused. Maybe I miss, y'all know, sometimes I'll be watching and I miss stuff. I don't understand why what they wanted was so directly affected. Because they said the only way they explained it was, well, the perfecti said there would be side effects. Okay, side effects to you not being able to have the allergy, not to like your life. Like that didn't make any sense to me. And then the perfecti are like, well, hey, your choices, which the perfecti weren't wrong when they said, hey, what you want is important too, which it is. And it to me, I think it had this weird kind of idea that the charmed ones aren't allowed to be truly happy for the sake of the world. And I think that's a very weird message. Did you get that kind of message from it? Because it was just kind of like, no, we have to do this so everyone else can be okay. And I'm like, when did it come to the point where so you had to be a charm when you also had to be miserable?
That's why I didn't understand. I mean, why should your happiness affect the world's?
It didn't make any sense to me. And I felt like it was just kind of it was kind of written off as, oh, that's a side effect of the egg. What? Why? What does that have to do with your allergy?
I would rather have the monster come alive.
Yeah.
Have at least when they took the egg, the monster came into the real world and tried to get them,
Yeah.
But that didn't make no sense for this whole episode. I mean, why give us a figure? Oh, yeah, okay, they got the allergy out the way, and then go right back to it.
Yeah, it just seemed like, like Blue Wolf Phoenix, I had highlighted their comment earlier, was saying it seemed like a waste of time and they were right back to square one. Jaylee is actually talking about Josefina. A few of y'all are already talking about Josefina, and we'll get to her in a little bit. She's a plot line we have to discuss as well. Yeah, and it was like, Jaylee is talking about what about the legal clinic? That was also something. The legal clinic, that was the thing too. The funny thing, Macy actually already had mentioned that, right? And you wonder if that was part of the allergy thing where she said, oh, they said the legal clinic was actually good PR, so I didn't have to be there, so I don't have to stay at work today. And I'm like, well, that's a good question, right, Jaylee? It's like, so does that mean that this was also part of the legal clinic? There were certain things that to me, I felt like it almost made it seem like the girls had never done any work to gain any of that, because it was like Mel getting tenure. Why wouldn't she get tenure? Okay, she jumped over too. There was a mistake. First of all, in college politics, there is no real line. They decide whoever they decide. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's kind of weird that it was like the reason they're like, well, there was two people in line. If it was just about you're in line, I just don't know if that's really the best kind of, especially with college politics. And then with, Maggie getting the internship, it didn't really make sense to me because she said, I got the internship because Antonio didn't. But that's not what happened. She got the internship and then Antonio got into an accident. So it was like, where was the connection that the only way she got the internship was because he was about to die? I feel like the teacher would have mentioned that. I feel like the professor would have been like, well, you don't have to compete anyway because your competition dropped out of school or got into a car accident. I mean, and also how cold-blooded of that would have been of the professor to just be like, okay, he might not make it, but I'm not going to take that risk. Here's the thing, Maggie. Like, it just seemed weird that they made that connection. The only way Maggie got the internship is because Antonio got hurt, but we don't find out Antonio got hurt till after. And I don't know if the professor knew it.
That's what I'm saying. Unless
it didn't make sense
because he didn't show up.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe because he didn't show up for the final review. But even then, it's kind of like, why would I just feel like the professor, I mean, maybe the professor's cold-blooded. Maybe he don't care. Well, he didn't show up. You're the only person. Let me just hand it off to you. Just seems a little weird to do that. And yes, Macy's thing, as John's pointed out, was probably the medical clinic or the legal clinic, maybe. But even then, the main thing seemed to be on the thing they brought up was the hotel room. So it didn't work for me. And so I didn't think it landed. some of y'all, I'm just looking through the chat right now. Some of y'all are talking about some of the things y'all weren't feeling in that. Melania is saying someone on CW Charm Reddit mentioned the egg was an allegory for privilege, societal speaking. So for privilege, societally speaking. Y'all, don't give these writers that much credit. No, I'm not. We're not. No, I'm not giving them that much credit to be like it was that deep. This was just poorly written. This random egg and privilege is, oh, we get the thing. Oh, I get the internship. What? like Maggie hadn't been busting her butt to get that internship, so I'm supposed to believe her privilege? The egg showed her privilege? Y'all stop. Come on. Nah, Melania. Tell those people on Reddit they're giving too much credit. They're giving these writers too much credit. That's not, nah, I'm not gonna give them that. No, no, denied. No. Like, nah. Madame Scorpio, but thank you, Melania, for telling us what they're saying, some of the other theories. I like to hear what other people are saying, but I'm not in agreement with that one. Madame Scorpio is saying the series needs new writers stat. Yeah, Blue Wolf is actually talking about the therapy session. How are you going to free somebody and then leave without explaining how you disappeared? Well, Maggie wrote a note, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean really.
Hole, right?
Wait a minute. Macy freezed her, right?
Macy's freezed her with the thing from Josefina. Yeah.
Oh.
Jaylee is saying, it would be interesting if the egg granted desires and Maggie wanted to get rid of Antonio. It was very extreme. Maybe. Now, I can get with that. Maybe it was the desire. Maybe. I could go with that a little bit. Because Mel's desire, then if we go with that, then we have to say, why wasn't Mel's desire to make it so Ruby wasn't visiting her mom, which we got to talk about when it comes to ship talk. It just seems like it was a little weird whose desires versus whose wants and what they picked for each one. But maybe it also just shows the weakness of not much going on this season, except this allergy. Yeah.
I don't know.
Johnson saying they were so reckless with the magic this episode. It was too much. Yeah. Jaylee is talking about Harry talked about that in season 1 when Mel kept freezing people and not being in the same place when they unfroze. Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Damien. We got to talk about it. Why is Maggie still scared of the allergy to Jordan when Jordan's been free of his curse? Yeah, we got to talk about that. I don't know. I'm just going through the chat. I want to see what you all are saying. Yeah, Lily, you're right. Oh man, the desire thing, a Ruby away, right? Like, what if it's desire? I mean, Letizia is saying thanks for joining us in the chat. Letizia is saying the sisters accepted everything way too easily, like they deserved it, without much suspicion. Maggie, however, did worry everything was occurring too easily. Yeah, Maggie, did say, man, this seems kind of weird, but it's also, I think it just shows. See, Letizia, I get what you're saying. I also say they accepted too easily that they had to go back to the old way. I think that was too easy. I'm not saying they needed to agree with the perfecti, but kind of being like, well, why would you send us to a thing knowing that, like, what's going on here, y'all? Y'all created this thing and you created some egg with bad side effects. How does this work? Or about an egg and you know about bad side effects. Why can't you guys are so powerful? Why can't you take away the side effects? We got rid of the allergy. Why don't you take it another step further and take away the side effects? You're powerful enough, right? Melania is saying the Book of Shadows bit was weird too. I mean, what changed between earlier and this time around? Yeah, that's also what we got in this plot line, that the Book of Shadows still work in progress, but it, kind of looked like a weird fairy tale book. It was a little bit cartoonish to me. What did you think about the book, the new look of the Book of Shadows, Mom?
I liked it.
I thought it looked too cartoony, but that's just...
No, it did.
It looked cartoony.
No, it did.
It looked like someone sat there and colored in. I mean, I guess that's what they did. It just looked cheap. Madame's guard, the charmer need to slow down and actually think. Something goes wrong, but they jump to correct something they don't even understand. Exactly. It's kind of like what, yeah, it's, yeah.
I mean, I was waiting for a week before I took the allergy away just to see if anything else.
Right? Like, just wait a little bit. Maybe Maggie was worried that I guess maybe Maggie was worried that Antonio would die, but it's like y'all got magic to freeze people. You can't pick up no magic to heal anybody.
I mean, come on.
Can't Harry orb in there?
Do that.
Harry can orb in there and fix Antonio or something, right? Like, why isn't this stuff being thought of? It's just simply we got to get back the allergy.
That one day, you go. Yeah. Goodness.
Yeah, it didn't, like, they've just been accepting things a bit too easily in a variety of ways, and I don't know. I just feel maybe they're stressed. We've been going from one thing to the next, so maybe they're just stressed out and they're not thinking clearly or something. I mean, honestly, that's in realm, but with the writers are just making them kind of accept things a bit too quickly, and so. Yeah, no, I just said that, Jaylee. You and I said it at the same exact time. Why couldn't Harry go to the hospital and heal Antonio and the man who had the heart attack? Who knows? Clearly, it was just Jaylee. They had to learn a lesson. They had to learn the lesson that they clearly aren't allowed to be happy. You got all this power, and you're not allowed to be happy.
See, that was,
to me, that seemed to be what the message was away.
How's that making them, not being happy?
Because, Mom, the writers made it so getting rid of the allergy was also connected to them trying to live their best life. That's the writers. The writers clearly threw that in.
You did that wrong. I mean, you really did
it's silly. Wrong. It's contrived. I think what it is that it's contrived, in my opinion.
That's how there was a week of them being, allergy free for the time week, and then then you figure out, okay, we're happy. Then don't wait for two things to go wrong. Wait till everything go wrong, and then try and fix it.
And then think, hey, it was a little weird.
Discuss it among yourselves and everything. Then ask them, is this what happens when we're, when our desires, when we're happy? Or do we not? Ask those questions to them. Come on.
They didn't want to get deep with it. And it just seemed like they were very, honestly, let us know in the chat and in the replay, y'all. What would y'all do if y'all were the charmed ones? Had you gotten the allergy gotten taken care of, and then suddenly you think your desires is causing havoc. You think it is. You're not sure. The perfecti telling you maybe, who knows? You're not really sure. It could just be really crappy coincidence. But even then, these things could probably be fixed individually, as people are pointing out in the chat when it comes to Harry healing people. Would you have been quick? Would y'all have been quick to reverse the allergy? Let us know in the chat and in the replay. Would you have reversed the allergy? Or would you have done more research and tried to figure out a different way? Let us know. Wow. Okay. So it seems like... it seems like with this plot point, the major one, I think a lot of people weren't feeling it. I think we're all a little frustrated that we're on episode 11 and we still have this allergy thing going on. And we can't even blame it on the thing that's going on outside in the world, because in the real world, right? Because they did things in this episode that would kind of show that maybe they're okay and can do that. So you can't even, because when this first started, I felt like, okay, this is because of what's really going on. But now what's the excuse? You literally showed a whole episode of you not needing to do that. And now we're back to the other thing. And it's like, okay, what's the excuse now? Why are we keeping this plot line that seems kind of contrived, right? So it doesn't seem like most of us are not loving this plot point. So, okay, there's that. All right, so let's move on to Abigail and Jordan. So what we got this episode was that Abigail is going through it. Our favorite demon woman, for some of us, is going through it. Well, she's second to Macy for me. Macy's my favorite demon woman, when they let Macy be a demon. But she's going through it. Her other half, her demon half, is really trying to take her out. But also her demon half is doing other stuff too, like showing up to the house to the Charmed One's house randomly looking for them. For whatever reason, this one demon thinks it can just show up and take on the Charmed Ones. Why? I'm not sure. And so Abigail goes to Jordy, for help. And so, you know, she wants to bind her powers, which I think is it's an extreme situation, but I did think it showed how Abigail does want to live, and now she's at a point where she's like, you know, it's not worth this. I want to live, so I live as a mortal, but at least I won't have nightmares, and I don't want to kill myself or whatever like that. So I thought that was an interesting choice they had her make, and so, you know, they're trying to bind it, and then flash forward, and Abigail and Jordan both are now seemingly trapped in the Tomb of Chaos. So, Ma, what did you think of this plot line for the episode?
Okay, what I didn't get is that with Abigail, something showed up in the background. It looked like the symbol of the Charmed Ones.
Was it the symbol of the Charmed Ones, or was it the symbol of the tomb?
Was it the tomb? Maybe it was.
I feel like it was a symbol of the tomb because it showed up on Jordan too, and I wonder if that's some type of symbol that's put on people who are condemned to the tomb. You know, like when someone.
But Jordan is human.
I know, Ma. That's the mystery, right? Why is Jordan also in there, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, why is Abigail in there? Although I wonder if when Abigail showed up, and I think I saw someone theorize this too, when Abigail showed up to the house as a demon, did the Perfecti sense her and think, okay, this is a demon, we need to send her to the thing? And then also, whatever reason, they decided to put Jordan in there too because he was helping her. Well, seems a little. Go ahead, Mom.
That the wherever they put him out is like similar to where they the place, like.
Well, yeah, it's a safe zone and stuff. Yeah, no, it is. But and I think that's just budgetary reasons, like to put them in the same place. But clearly, they're in the Tomb of Chaos. So, and Damie is, thanks for letting us know, Damie. She's saying it's the symbol of the tomb, Mom. Yes, it's a symbol of the tomb, and that's what was put. So I think that's I think maybe that's a branding that happens to people sentenced to the tomb, right? No trial or anything has been occurred. And the question is, are the Perfecti behind it? So, Bob, what did you think of Abigail's choice of Abigail's situation, like of the fact that she was trying to bind her powers and get rid of all of her magic side and things like that, and that Jordan was drawn into this as well?
I thought it was a good. Well, I felt sorry for her because I didn't think she should have had to bind her powers, but she told him when she told him I can do this, and he was asking her why do he have to be in on this? Mm-hmm. But she said because he was human in some way. Because
he's a benevolent, good-hearted human. And we all know Jordan is that. You know, no good deed goes unpunished, I guess.
But when he got ready to do that and that happened, something came towards him, and when he had the knife up like that, he said, he ask, who are you or what are you?
Yeah, he was like, who are you or something to the person when he saw. Now, I don't know if I thought maybe that was Abigail's demon side or whatever, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the Perfecti or something. Jaws is pointing out that was such an odd scene. It was so random and awkward. Jaws saying randomly showing up in their home. Yeah, I just didn't understand why this one demon decided I'm going to take on the Charmed One. No one else has been able to do this, but I'm going to take on the Charmed Ones randomly. I guess just battle them, you know, and of course they're not home because, they're kind of above that demon's pay grade. They are the Charmed Ones. It's just like good for them. No offense, Abigail probably got vanquished. Blake is saying, what was the point of her entire arc in getting back her demon half after she already absorbed powers from other half demons? And I think that's the question, Blake, right? It was like we had this thing where she gets the totem or whatever it is, or the trinket that holds her demon side. She breaks it, or we saw her break it, but then in like 2 episodes later, it's full again because I guess. I don't know, plot hole. And then now her demon side has been released and is trying to kill her and take over her. But we don't really know why. Like, we haven't had a conversation with this demon side of her. All we know is that it doesn't seem to like her human witch side, and it wants to randomly take on the Charmed Ones. But we aren't really given any kind of introspection as to why this is. So I do ask the same question, like, what is the point of this arc? Is this just some kind of thing to get us to the point that we're in now? And, you know, I feel like, why didn't we get a talk with Abigail where it was like, you know, oh, I released my demon side, but now I regret it and I don't know what to do. Something like that. It just seemed kind of, it wasn't really a clear thing, you know. Jaylee is saying, I don't really understand Abby's self-harm plot. She had it under control last episode, and now she doesn't. Is she self-harming, or is she weak from her demon side taking over? I will say Abby looked tired. Our girl looked tired. She looked like she hadn't been sleeping. And so I would say that maybe her demon side is wearing her down. Maybe as she grows weaker, her demon side is growing stronger. Blake is pointing out, why are they going to take Jordan? His curse is gone. Why are they putting him in super gel? Yeah, I think that's the question too. I think my thing is, I think it's because he's associated with Abigail. So maybe they just thought birds of a feather or something like that.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm not understanding. How can you put her with them if he's human?
It's supposed to be magical beings, right?
Yeah, he's not.
So it's a little weird. He's a magical being. You're right, Ma. It's really like, why was he put on there somehow? Letizia is saying, when Abby broke into the Vera Manor looking to hurt the Charmed Ones in her full demon form, she was prevented further by the Perfecti energy shield that forced her into her human witch side. Yeah, so that makes sense, because she did say when they were doing when her and Jordan were trying to do a thing, like, oh, I felt this wind last time too. And that was the same thing at the Charmed One's house. Okay, fine. But why take Jordan too? And why are the Perfecti just kind of randomly throwing people in jail and not running it by the Charmed Ones? How many people are they throwing in jail? That's the question now, right? Let us know in the chat, y'all, and also in the replay. I mean, I think things like this being the second plot line too, the one with the egg situation and the whole, some side effects. And then this thing with Abby and possibly them throwing Jordan also in there. Do you think the Perfecti are not all that they seem? Or maybe they're exactly how they seem and it's not a good gel for a humankind.
I don't
like maybe they're making decisions. Say that again, Ma?
I just believe something is up with them. Something's not right with them.
Yeah, I like them.
They're too willing. Oh, yes, we could do this for you and all like this. You want, they're too willing. No, something ain't right there. Something's underneath that.
I agree with you. This thing, I love their dynamic. I love quirky characters like that because it can be so cool to see that. So I like them. I love the actors. I love what they're doing. And I kind of wanted them to maybe turn into super being mentors for them, since for whatever reason, the tree is nowhere to be found. And the mentor, one of the Charmed Ones, where did the tree go? I don't know. But I kind of wanted that, but it seems like they have another agenda. Blue Wolf actually makes a good point that I actually think may be the case here, where the Perfecti are creating a new world order, right? A new order of things. They're kind of the ones in control because they're the most powerful ones, although they do acknowledge that the Charmed Ones are powerful too.
Put more powerful.
Yeah, I think they acknowledge that too, but maybe they're trying to do things on the low. Maybe they're like, okay, we'll let the Charmed Ones do their thing since they want to be like regular lives, and we'll take care of the magical world. Maybe that's a thing. Madame Scorpio is saying maybe Jordan is a magical being. I'd be down for that. I think that'd be cool if he was. It'd be a great kind of, I think most people are kind of theorizing he might be one of the next White Lighters somehow. I'd be fine if he was a magical being. I kind of like him being a great human too, though. But for me, I worry that makes him a liability in the sense of, or gives him a liability. He's never a liability. Jordan is very useful, but it makes him vulnerable that he could get hurt. Damien is saying, I agree with binding Abby's powers. If that makes her a better person, it stops the demon self-harming. Agreed. Hey, Erica, thanks for joining us in the chat. Lotus Q is saying, weren't the Perfecti hunting down some creature in the beginning? Yeah, a dog who had the symbol on it of something. The mark, it wasn't Mark of the Beast. What was the name? Let us know in the chat and replay. Ma, do you remember the name?
They said that dog?
It was because Harry was like, that's a dog typing or something like that. And then they were like, that's no ordinary dog. That's something that has the symbol of, or the mark of this on it. And then they went to go take care of it and told Harry to enjoy his sabbatical white lighter. So I don't know. You know, I don't know. What did you, maybe. Yeah. Erica is saying, I just want to say Jordan is too wholesome for the charm world. I love him so much. And if Maggie don't want him, I'll take him. Yes, we do got to talk about ship talk because I got some feelings about Maggie's mess. Ilias is saying, thanks for joining us in the chat. Why wouldn't she use the demon knife to remove the demon essence or the totem which held it before? Not sure. There's a lot of y'all, like there are so many things where it's like I think we're all asking these questions about the characters. Like, well, why didn't Harry just like, heal this guy? Why didn't she choose this? And all I can say to this is the writers made it so they didn't.
Interesting. And that's another thing. What happened to what's the name, premonition power?
Oh, Maggie's premonition. Well, I guess it just comes when it feels like it.
I mean, when Jordan got hurt or anything like that, something should have came to her. That's what I'm saying. I didn't understand that. Because when she was
she didn't touch him. It happens when she touches people.
She was trying to call him. I figured if you had a friend, she was trying to call him, and then went to that funny thing like that. She should have remembered that's what happened before with anything that they did. That's why.
Maybe. The TJ is saying, why don't the charm ones hold a seance to get more answers from past charm? I don't know. Like, this is the thing. That would be a good thing, you know? And I think this is, to me, one of the shortcomings of the show here is that we'll talk about it with Josefina, that they are bringing up some of the, other cultural aspects, other cultures and magic, right? Which is cool. I dig that. But it's also kind of like they pick and choose when they want to pick things from the magical world. Like there are so many things like when the whole thing happened and the allergy happened, y'all heard me. I was saying, why doesn't Maggie create some type of dream spell where her and Harry can get together in their dreams? Like you can literally freeze time. You can't make some type of mind melding thing where you guys are in each other's dreams. And like, that's how you kind of can get around this allergy or something like that. There are so many things that they could do as magical beings, especially super powerful magical beings. And I feel like the show just kind of picks and chooses when to limit their ability or even their idea of things coming up that they could choose to do that most of us would even think of, like a seance, you know what I mean? Or a spell of a dream spell or something like that. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a shortcoming of the show because they do that often. They pick and choose how they want to have the girls use their magic in order to keep the plot going, So I don't know.
They use their magic too much in that episode.
Yeah, they didn't. There's it's a lot because it's kind of hard to talk about this episode without talking about the holes that were in it or some of the kind of contrived moments that happen with these characters, which is a shame. And I think we're kind of getting to why some of us here had a lower rating for it. Okay, so let's move on. So we were kind of feeling the Abby and Jordan plot line a little bit more than the allergy plot line. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with them. I think Jordan and Abigail have really cool friendship, weird energy. So I kind of like their dynamic. I feel like Jordan's like her closest friend in a way, in a begrudging way. And I think in some form, Abigail has respect for him. So I kind of like their dynamic. So, and they seem to keep giving them plot lines together. Mm-hmm. I don't mind it. I like it. Okay, so let's go to Josefina, y'all. Okay, so Josefina, once again, since she's gotten here, has been trying to get her magic. And so she gets her magic finally through certain means. Okay, so let me say, we know what happened with Josefina this episode. It's kind of the feeling that I had about her last episode. I think she's very selfish. And I think since she has showed up to the house, she has had a one-track mind. And I thought it was very interesting how it didn't take much for her to literally turn her powers that she got on the charm ones. Yes, Mel talked her down, but I feel like
But
I get it. Josefina really wants something, but I kind of ask y'all, and maybe, and this could be a polarizing thing. Had Abigail done that, would y'all have given her so quickly? Abigail has done that, and some of y'all, and I've seen it on. Some people want to, hang Abigail up to dry when she gets too on herself and gets too selfish and so about herself. And I feel like Josefina has done that since she showed up, and yet I don't know. I think there's this weird thing that we're supposed to somehow root for her. And I'm like, why would I want to root for this character to get her powers? I mean, clearly she doesn't seem very responsible with them, right? What do you think, Ma? Am I wrong? Am I judging her too harshly?
Yes, I think so. Because I put
you think I'm judging? Okay.
She didn't, they was figuring it was the egg that gave her the power, but it wasn't. She got her power the way that when she got that, when she did that spell and everything, she did it correctly. It wasn't the egg that gave her the power. And that's what when they said that, I said, she didn't get the power from that. But that they assuming that she got the power from the egg. That the egg.
But she still didn't need to be like, yo, I'm out to come on, Ma. You and me. Okay. These people, okay. These people have been housing you in their home.
Yes.
You haven't been paying anything, clearly. You've just been upstairs in their attic for days, weeks, how long you've been here, causing them issues because you don't listen, just like last episode showed us. She don't listen. And then they tell you, hey, there's something bigger going on. We might need you to kind of, pause on that for a second because we got to figure this out. And your response is to tie them up.
No, your response.
You think that's okay?
Take my power.
Powers that may not be hers.
But
they didn't know that. But they didn't know those were her powers or not. And they tried to explain to her that, hey, we don't know if your powers are what are yours. And we're gonna go do this thing with the egg, and we might have to, it might result in the reversing of it. And instead of her listening, it was just like, no, you're not gonna take my power. It took her 0.0 seconds to all go power hungry on that.
Yes.
How is that not a red flag?
This just show that girl that you ain't taking nothing from me. Come on, we ain't gonna let nobody.
No, you up in someone else's house who helped you get the book, who helped you get the Book of Shadows, and you're telling me it's okay that she straight up turned her powers on them?
She's human. People are like that. Come on now.
She's a witch. She's a witch who has powers now, and it seems like and I've seen this since she's been on this show. It seems like she's very bad at making decisions, and it seems like when she makes decisions, it has her as the center focus. You want someone like that with powers roaming around who's just all about themselves? Because if that's the case, then no one should have a problem with Abigail. Yeah, there's so many people that have a problem with Abigail. Not you. I'm using the argument though. It's like there are people who have a problem with Abigail. Yeah, here's Josefina doing very similar stuff.
We just did one stuff, and
no, Ma, it has not been one thing with this girl. It has not been one thing with this girl.
Like the leaves. I said, well, damn, she controlled the leaves. I mean, she controlled the trees. I mean, that's the power that she got. I mean, I didn't get that part either.
Honestly, it was a whack plot line. Well, I mean, yeah, like others have said, her plot line is her powers is that she is she's poison ivy, and yeah,
she's leaving.
She's a nature witch, as she said, and I'm like, okay, nature witch, cool. John is saying Josefina's whole storyline was just too quick for me because she was here to gain a power and learn from them, but she's leaving. Yeah. Liliana is saying, depends. With Abby, we've seen more to her than just her power hungriness, opposed to Josefina, who we've mostly seen just be dedicated to get her powers. Robert is saying, this is a double standard when it comes to Abigail and everyone else. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a double standard there. Blue Wolf is saying Mama Robinson is right. So Blue Wolf is thinking that it was cool that she tied up the charm ones because they were going to take her powers. You thought that was okay?
I'm not going to let you take something from me that I know didn't come from the egg.
They weren't trying to take it from her, though. They weren't, Mom, you act like they were standing there and were saying, we're about to touch you and take your power. They literally just said, hey, we got to go, and this might reverse it just to let you know. And she was literally going to not let them go because, so to them, Antonio's life is hanging in the balance. People are dying around them. And they're telling her, look, we got to go fix this to help these people. And she's straight up like, I'm going to tie you up because I want my powers more than I care about what's going on with these other people. You don't think that's a problem?
She had a little.
It wasn't just about, she did not care.
Okay. I'm gonna argue. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
No. You can have y'all. Let us know in the chat and also in the replay.
I'm just saying this way.
Who do you agree with? Are you on Josefina's side on this one? Or are you on my side with this one that she was out of line? Because I think she was out of line.
Okay. In the sense of out of line, but in the sense I felt where she was going. I mean, I put it this way. I know I ain't get my power from that egg, and that's what you're trying to tell me. And you trying to take something from that I know I didn't get from. But this is your first instinct.
Mom, but see, you're focusing on that one moment. I'm also focusing on when she couldn't get that book, she straight up froze that guy in public. In front of public people, just froze him. Like, you don't think you're going to potentially expose your cousins when you start randomly throwing out magic for a book? Like, she don't think. She made a lot in last episode, man. I was not feeling her.
Well, sometimes when we want something bad enough, we don't think.
Okay, so remind me never to let you get witch powers. Because it seems like I don't know.
I understand okay, the girl have the wrong concoction of how to do things right. I mean, power. If I get something new and it's mine, and I know I got it, and I'm letting y'all know, and then y'all telling me, oh, you probably got it from. That's gonna put my heck up to. I'm going, this mine's. And you're right. I am gonna. Well, if I got a chance to tie you up, go ahead. But then Mel talked her down. So she saw the light and she brought you home.
Well, I was just happy that Macy was about to take Josefina and like give her a whooping because it was very clear. Macy turned to Mel and she was like, Mel, you better do something before I do. And I was like, thank you, Macy. Someone's thinking here because Macy was like, yo, she's straight up. And of course, Macy's like, yo, she's trying to like tie me up, but I'm about to take this chick out because she don't understand I'm Macy. But I felt that energy. Macy was like, I'm about to do something if you don't.
Okay, but then you did hear Josephine say, y'all didn't use your powers against me.
Yeah, and Mel's like, I did use my powers of persuasion. And I'm like, get out of here. That's how y'all get in these situations now. Anyway, Erica's saying, I feel like Josefina and Abby are in the same level. So to be honest, if they can forgive her, then Abby shouldn't be that bad. Well, Abby has done a bit more, but still.
I don't see Abby bad, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't see nothing wrong with Abby. I don't see, like I always thought from the beginning, Abby and they should always try to help Abby, too, and see her side of things. I didn't see nothing wrong with Abby.
Okay. I don't see anything wrong with Abby too much either. Damien is saying Josefina's out of line. I'm glad she's going back to Puerto Rico. Blake is saying, honestly, I'd be open for Josefina to get a redemption if they had her kept her for the season. Her and Mel were exchanging magical info and still had room to grow, in my opinion. Venue fan is saying Josefina was not going to hurt them. I think she just wanted everything to slow down. Yes, Macy's got the best brains there. That's my favorite character. Yes, same, Damien, same. Okay, so it seems like Josefina's not going to be around much longer in this season, and it was kind of weird though that they crammed her down our throats. I'm not gonna say crammed her. They gave her so much focus is it going to be some kind of tie up? Is she going to come back and help them? I hope so, because it would suck that we had all this time with her. She gets her powers. And then she just leaves. And it's like, yo, isn't there a bigger situation going on here? Like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling Josefina. Not my favorite character they've introduced thus far. And yes, Ma, we're on different sides on this one. I'm not feeling her. I thought they could have done better. But maybe, like others are saying, had they had they maybe kept her for more episodes and spread out this kind of plot line she had, maybe it wouldn't have felt so much so quickly, and I'd be a little bit more okay with some of the things that she did.
Well, like I said, if they would just prolong the part of not taking the allergy away, and they could have all figured out something how to deal with it, but you just gonna figure, oh well, they got sick because of what I wanted. They got sick because no, wait till for a week to see if anybody else, if the other world, I thought the whole world was starting to fall apart. That's what they should have waited for.
Yeah. Jaws is saying they made it seem so pointless to bring her in the story at the point for her to leave. Yeah. Just seemed like a lot. I thought she was going to be around for most of the season. But that's not happening. Okay, y'all. So the next thing we are moving to is to ship talk. Ship talk. We got to talk about the ship talk.
Ship talk y'all want to talk about.
Okay, yes. We, of course, want to talk about Hasty. But I'm not starting with Hasty.
Who you starting with? Who had episode? Who had a relationship?
There were other things referenced. Just because... Lady, you try to come at me because of the Josephina thing, but let's move on. Okay, so ship talk. Okay, so first we're going to talk about Maggie and Jordan, because that was ship stuff this episode. So basically with Maggie and Jordan, we had it. So one, I thought, y'all, am I missing something? I thought Jordan's stuff was lifted because him and Macy got to hug. I don't think that somehow Maggie got the memo. I don't know if Macy just forgot to tell her, because when Maggie was talking to a therapist, it made it seem like the allergy was still keeping her away from Jordan. But then the allergy gets lifted and then it switches to, no, I just want to stay single. So that's why I'm not going to. Yeah. So she basically continued to friend zone Jordan. And, although it's very clear, I like that they were even more direct in saying that it's very clear that Maggie has very strong feelings for Jordan, but she's very much about herself. And so not herself like in a selfish Josefina way, but like herself, like focusing on herself. So now we have Jordan's trapped. And so that's probably going to come into play here. What did you think of that, Mob? For me, I'm not sure why Maggie, I get why she's like, I want to focus on myself in a way, but it seems kind of weird because and I'm not going to go too deep in this, but I think a sign of maturity is knowing that you can balance having, seeing where something goes with someone and having your life and your career. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And I feel like by pushing this with Maggie, they're kind of pushing this idea that she has to pick her career and her education over having romance, as though romance would eclipse all of that. So what did you think? What did you think of Maggie's decision to keep, Jordan at kind of arm's length? And do you think Jordan should stick around for that? Or should he try to, like, I don't know. I'm sure Jordan's busy too. He's not probably trying to date anybody, but.
Okay, when they was talking, remember, I think they was talking on the phone. I felt Jordan, frustration there, in the sense he was trying to tell her something. And she like, just calling to see, check up on you or whatever. And he was trying to talk to her. And then when she just ended it.
She ended it because she heard people crying and stuff. And she was wondering what was going on.
But I don't think, I figured this way.
It's fair what she's doing to him? Do you think it's, because I think on some level, she's kind of calling him and keeping him around because she doesn't. And this is what I said. And I'm not about the triangles, y'all, or anything like that. But I just feel like maybe Jordan needs to like potentially date somebody else, or just like not even really date someone else. Maybe just like it looks like he might be, so that Maggie can kind of get the fire sparked under her to say, maybe I shouldn't just, maybe if I like.
Let me stop.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, I maybe, that life is intense and crazy and I should like not deprive myself. And maybe she needs to get with the idea that she could lose Jordan to kind of realize that she needs to not keep putting him at bay. Because I feel like by her calling him and stuff like that, saying you're such a good friend, but it's like you're still trying to keep him around emotionally. And I don't think that's fair to him.
I don't think that's fair either.
Yeah. Erica is saying Jordan deserves the world, and to be honest, Maggie doesn't deserve him right now. I'm more on his side than hers. That allergy ain't the issue right now. She just wants the year of me. Girl, get your man. Yes. Yeah, Jackson is saying Maggie knows she just wants her distance with Jordan.
I wouldn't have no distance. Once that allergy broke, I would have ran to her and said, come on.
Letizia is saying, honestly, in real life, the actress playing Maggie is actually dating the actor who plays Parker. I think there's physical conflict there to have Jordan and Maggie to be intimate. Just a theory. I mean, I don't know. I mean, she's an actress, right? She's an actor. And it's kind of like, I mean, maybe it's the whole thing like with what's going on out in the world to have someone, you know, making out with somebody and then going home. But at the same time, people are actors, right? So I don't know. I just feel like there's a little bit, I mean, yeah. I mean, it could be that, but I don't know. I mean, you can keep them apart. They don't got to be intimate. They could have a date. I mean, we see that with Hasty all the time. I mean, we didn't get no love scene this episode for some reason. But you can have it so that they can have like a romance without being like making out kind of deal, you know, holding hands, things like that. There's ways to get around it, I think. So I don't know if that can be the main thing. Johnson saying, if it's supposed to be the year of me, then be about you and get your man. Exactly. It's kind of weird that they're making her really feel like it's an either or, and neither of her sisters are telling her different. Like, why aren't they giving her advice like, hey, you know, you don't have to pick, right? You can have both, you know? Robert is saying, we need balance in the writer's room because it seems the majority are Hasty shippers and they are not giving other ships to shine. Ruby is always missing and Jordan has been friend zoned. Yeah, I mean, that might be the writer's room thing, maybe. Although I feel like when we were getting some Hasty stuff, they still gave us Parker and Maggie stuff too. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I think a lot of us aren't feeling the fact that Jordan is friend zone. I think the idea is that he deserves better, and I agree with many people. Quickly, before we get to Hasty, I guess we could just say with Mel and Ruby is now conveniently visiting her mom.
Okay.
So there's that. Whatever. Okay. So Hasty, the main couple of this show, it would seem. But Hasty, y'all. So we got a lot of Hasty goodness. We got them going to Paris. We got them taking selfies. It was great. It was wonderful. It's you know, it's awesome. It's good stuff. And so yeah, so I loved it, although we saw cracks in it too, right? Not so much in their love, because we saw their love was bountiful, but it was in the fact of, you know, growing old together and Harry really having some issues with that to the point where he concluded at the end where it was like, I'm going to try to become human. What did you think of that, Ma? What did you think of Hasty? Yeah.
I mean, let's put it this way. Okay. She's gonna grow old and you're not. Hello, you are a white lighter. Keep your power. Everybody want to give up their powers. I know you want to be with the one you love, but damn, you can still be with her. What the hell? I don't understand why he want to give up his power. He's a white lighter. I know he don't want to see her grow old while he stay young. Well, then take your power when she get old. Not now.
Then he'd have to catch up with her, though.
That's okay.
I mean, yeah, love knows no bounds of age and everything like that.
It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
I mean, the way he was saying, like, you acting like she's gonna grow old right now. I mean, come on.
And that's what Macy was trying to tell him. She was like, let's just deal with here and now. Although she was like, let's deal with here and now. But also, I can't wait till we grow old together. Not grow old, but grow, like, be years together and stuff.
Years together.
But I felt like Macy was talking in happiness, you know? She wasn't talking with the weight of it. It was just like, I'm so happy we can have, like, a relationship now that has all of it into it. And I felt like Harry, I get it though. He also is frustrated. He wants to be with the woman he loves. And I don't think he's thinking it through though, because I mean, if he becomes human, there was also the conflict that he had before where he felt like he was useless to them, right? Even as a white lighter. How much more won't you be even more useless? Useless to them as a human, especially him. I mean, he's always getting hurt. And one of the things that his saving grace is that he's a white lighter.
Right. Who's gonna, heal you?
Exactly. And so I'm like, are you thinking this through? Because there was this movie, I think it was like Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan, where Nicolas Cage's character, yeah, he was an angel and he became human for her. And she was so happy. And then she died. Yeah. It was such a messed up. I've never even watched that movie a second time. But she died. And it was messed up because it was like he literally became human for her. And it's like, you are taking a gamble here. You were probably in a better situation. Yeah. I know, but you get what I'm saying? Like the White Lighter and the Macy. It's like, why would you chance that? Wouldn't it make more sense to look for a way to make Macy immortal? Wouldn't that make more sense than you trying to take her human? Wouldn't it make more sense to try to figure out a way that she could always stay young? Yeah. You know?
They didn't have to do that right then and there. Like I said, think about it later on and go through with the thing. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Damie. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Damie is saying the same thing. There has to be another, way, and it's just kind of weird about that, and, Blake is saying this is all marriage level conversations. He's moving way too fast. They have the perfect eye and the immortality removal spell from season 1. He can become mortal and keep his other worldly powers. Fiona did. Yeah.
Once his power's gone, he get old. Don't he realize that?
Well, I think we talked about this last time that's not a really that was something that the elders did to him. That wasn't really, that they made him age quick, that they didn't have to do that he could have just had his power stripped without that. So yeah. Yeah, I just think that they could do better. I feel like Harry has to just be in the moment. Like they literally haven't had a chance to breathe and he's already like, I'm going to change into a human. That's a very big thing to do. And I think the other two things needs to be maybe once again, getting Macy to be immortal. But the other thing is maybe this isn't the only way. There has to be another way to get rid of this allergy. Let's look for it. You know what I mean? Let's not give up hope that we can get rid of this allergy. How messed up is it that you guys have to live like this? Not just with you and me, but like with any other magical being for the rest of your days. There has to be a way. You guys are the charmed ones. It's like, where's the hope with, or the confidence in their power?
They didn't try to find a way. They wasn't thinking. They're not trying to find ways. They just made them like, okay, I'll take the perfected word for it. I'm going to let them do. I mean, they're not thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot, and it's
But what? Okay, I got one thing. What I don't understand, I'm not trying to jump into the other episodes overly or whatever. Why would you go to Perfecta to actually help you get rid of that?
Well, the idea was that they were the ones who that made the curse in the first place of the allergy, so that they would be. And then that was the whole thing with Maggie and saying, "Hey, why didn't you guys figure out?" Well, we didn't figure it would have to actually be broken. So, yeah.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, there's once again, I think this goes to plot points, right? This goes to the plot points and the plot holes that we have, and so it's not I love Hasty. Y'all know I love Hasty. So I have hope for them. I just feel like this whole thing with Harry being so up in arms about the human thing, especially when it's like, you're not just dating a regular woman, you're dating one of the charmed ones. Like, you gotta kind of give her a little bit more credit that she's not gonna vanquish anytime soon, and that she honestly may last, may not age as so quickly. You don't know. We don't know that. So it's just kind of weird. And Harry being as smart and as as he is.
Thinking. That's what I'm saying. I'm not understanding how they got Harry now. He's not thinking. He's going with his emotions. I mean, I'd rather have that one that thought logical.
Yeah.
When he first met him, he was logical. He was telling why this and that.
Yeah. No, it's weird. And I just want to say, like, because I know there was something going on in the chat earlier about me not seeing certain comments and things like that. the chat moves quick. There are like 26 to 30 of y'all in there at times. So I'm not going to see everything, especially when I'm talking to my mama, and things like that. So if I don't highlight it, it's not because I'm specifically like not trying to acknowledge you. And I, just know that it's because the chat moves quickly. And so I welcome everyone's opinions and things like that. But I'm also not going to, I don't highlight everybody's stuff, because if I did, I'd be here for hours. And this ain't really my main job, y'all. Like, I'm literally a journalist. I get paid for that. Like, I do this because I like talking to y'all. Okay. So threatening, like making words about other stuff, about what you're not going to give and all that don't do nothing for me. Like, it honestly, my mom will tell you it don't. Like, I do this because I like talking stories with y'all. Like, I literally, I got a salary. I love Hasty, but I'm just like, I just don't know why they're picking this thing. Letizia, who I just highlighted, actually had something very interesting about how they might be trying to break up Hasty, a thought, and that she'd be okay with Jordan. That's a very controversial thought, Letizia. But it could be something. I don't know. I don't think the chat's gonna agree with you though. People Hasty shippers here. Letizia say, don't get me wrong, I love Hasty, but why I stick with the show? The showrunners have their own agenda. I'm just saying there's the chemistry with Macy and Jordan as well. I'm passively open to it. I mean, I saw the chemistry too. I feel like the show needs to figure out, because let me say this as we wrap it up with this, is that I feel like I don't know where the direction is with the show. We have not had the reveal of a big bad yet, y'all. And it is episode 11. And I don't even know if we're going to get big bad. And I'd be kind of disappointed if the Perfecti turn into being the big bad. Because, I mean, that might be the case. But would that not be kind of disappointing, y'all?
No, it would be something like a twist. You never know. It could be. They could be like, how you say, the front thing of it, but there's something bigger behind them.
Yeah.
But I just think they're not. No, they came too easily.
You think, y'all, let us know in the chat and replay. Do y'all think the Perfecti are going to turn into the big bad this episode? In this season, because we haven't had a clear vision of who is the big bad, right? There has to be a big bad, right? It'd be so weird if it wasn't. So do y'all think that might be the Perfecti? And if it was, would y'all be okay with that? Because I feel like I don't know where this season's going. I don't know what they're doing this. I don't know what the end game of this season is. I think that's my frustration with it, because I don't know where things are heading. Not like, I don't know I need to know everything, but like, I don't see a clear path. I don't see anything building up here except the Perfecti.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Liliana is saying, I had to leave, but it feels like they focus a lot on Hasty because they know it has a crowd, but the show is suffering from it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do we want to put it on Hasty, or because we talked about the other plot lines, and it seemed like there was a lot of plot holes in those plot lines. And even in the Hasty, there's a little plot hole. So yeah, Robert's already calling me. Robert's like, come on, the Perfecti are definitely the big bad. Look, I'm hoping there's something different. I just okay, Robert and others in the chat. If they turn out to be the big bad, are y'all okay with that? Do y'all think that would be like epic? You know what I mean? I just feel like that'd be kind of anticlimactic to me.
Why?
Because we've seen them a lot already.
Okay, but like I said, you never know. Something else is behind that. You never, like I said, it's gonna be a twist there. If they write this right, it could be a big twist there, and it could be surprising.
Yeah. I don't know. Y'all are okay with the big bad being the Perfecti. I just feel like that's so predictable, and maybe I'm just kind of over how predictable this season has been. And I'm like,
thing out there,
because you see it coming a mile away that they're going to be the big bad, and I just am like, please surprise me. Like, don't let him, like, you know what I'm saying, Mom? Like, they come on and you're like, okay, we know they're going to be like, and it's like, it's going to probably take 3 more episodes before that even gets revealed. But here, we all are saying we already know that's who it's going to be. Does that not feel kind of predictable to y'all? and not very
Like
creative.
I said, it's predictable, but then, like I said, there could be a twist to it. Something that would shock the hell out of everybody.
Okay.
Who else?
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Trying to think back. No, it can't be him.
What? Who? Madame Scorpio is saying maybe it's Cole, but I don't think the universes are connected. Cole's from OG Charmed. It would be cool. I liked his character, but I don't know if he'd be coming back.
But you never know. It could be somebody from the demon world that we wouldn't have suspected.
Maybe. They have to start building it up though, because I don't really know. But y'all are right. It probably is the Perfecti. And it's probably them kind of having a new world order, like was mentioned. And because it's a new world order, that's going to be the danger to humankind, that they're just basically throwing people in the tomb of chaos willy-nilly, kind of being kind of dictators about it. So that's probably what we're going to get. I just think it's kind of predictable. Yeah. Thank you, Letizia. I didn't do season 2. I kind of fell out of it, and there was other things going on, so I wasn't able to do season 2. I did do the beginning of season 2, but I didn't get to do all of it. This is the first time. This is the time. This season 3 is when I'm doing like consistent. I'm not sure how many. I think y'all had told me actually that there was going to be like only 18 episodes this season, because usually there's like 22 or 23 NCW shows. But I think we might just get 18. I think some of y'all mentioned it. I'm not exactly sure, but it may just be 18. I'm not sure. Blake, you are completely right. I'm good. You said I'm good with predictable, but good writing can save anything. That is very true. I don't know how many times I've watched something and been like, I saw this a mile away, but I loved how they executed it. Because I've said this before, every story has been told. There's no kind of new kind of story. That's true. It's how you tell it. No story. We've been around for so long that boy meets girl or boy meets boy, all type of stuff. It's been told already. So the question is, how do you tell it? And I guess maybe that's my shortcoming. Maybe I don't think they're telling this as well as they could. Maybe that's my problem. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree with you, but they're not telling the story right. I should write for them.
You should write for them. You tell some good stories, lady.
Oh my goodness.
And Venu fan is saying a prediction of, or some being could break all the creatures out of the prison and try to take over. That could be a thing too. Maybe we might get a big bad coming out of this from the prison itself. Maybe some demon or something that's been waiting for their chance, That's
not logical.
So yeah. Okay. All right, y'all. So we talked about the overall thoughts and everything. I want y'all to let me know in the chat and the replay, well, more so the replay, because, we're closing out, what your thoughts are in terms of predictions. What do you think? We just got told in the chat that we may only be getting like 18 or 19 episodes, right? So that means we are now on episode 11. We had episode 11. So we only got a few episodes left, sort of, right? A lot can happen, but it seems like this may be another season where a lot of it's crammed into the last couple of episodes of the season, right?
Don't they usually end in May?
They usually do, but they started late too. We started late. We started in January. They normally come back in October.
Well, then I would say
we might be going into the summer.
By June or something like that. Okay.
Yeah. So y'all, let us know, how do you want to see the rest of the season go? What do you want to see this season? We've all been kind of talking, kind of been having this little, therapy session of our own with the show, kind of talking about what we think is going on, that we're not as exactly happy as we could be with it. So let us know in the replay your thoughts on what you think can improve, what you'd like to see improve, and what you'd like to see more on and less of. Or maybe you think everything's great. Let me know too. Let us know in the replay in the comments. And if you haven't already, please do give this video a thumbs up. It's always greatly appreciated. Give it a comment if you haven't commented in the regular replay yet. That's always appreciated because it helps other people see the video and engage with what we talk about. I always love reading the comments later on that people who don't get to, those of you who in the replay who don't get to watch it live with us or be live here with us, I always love reading your comments as well. It's such a great thing. And in these crazy times, it can be great to talk storyline with you all. So we appreciate it. And for me and my mama, thank you again for joining us. And till next time, stay safe out there and be good to each other. Bye, y'all.